Hi everyone, Meek here, and this time I want to talk to you about a cast on with anchor yarn. On YouTube you find various videos with the anchor yarn cast on. I was trying that out on the loom and I discovered a way which gives more stretchiness to the casting off and on. As you can see, this is with the traditional, so you cast off where the working yarn is not, and this is the other way around. I say this is a beautiful cast off. I have nothing to say about that. And as you can see, this is more like a chain stitch. This is the front and this is the back, and here's more a rib from a purl stitch. So you have to take notice of that when you are going to use this cast off. Okay, I leave a very long tail here for if I need that with a hook, crochet hook later on. And I'm going to cast on like we normally do with the stockinette. That's exactly the same. And I always put my yarn on the anchor pack, because then I'm able to adjust a cast on if necessary. I'm putting a piece of scrap yarn over here, put a little knot in it, or just like you can pull it loose again, pull it down, and you are just going to continue the stitch that you were planning to do. I'm going to do the stockinette. I always say last wrap is the first stitch you knit, and then you are going to knit the stitches. In the beginning it is very loose, but that doesn't matter. That will, when you continue with knitting, it will disappear a bit. Okay. You continue knitting until you are ready. I'm going to knit another 4 to 5 rows, and then we continue with the casting off, and I will let you see how you can adjust or do the cast on. So now I'm wrapping my last row with the stockinette. Last wrap is the first stitch you knit. I'm holding my working yarn so I can pull at it while I'm wrapping the stitches. I always wrap them from the middle. I've seen that somewhere because it seems better for the tension, and I'm holding that one so I can't pull those, so it is much more loose here than over there. So this is my final row. Then I'm going to take another piece of scrap yarn. In the traditional way you see on YouTube, they are going to do the work with the crochet hook from the side where the working yarn is not. And I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to use the working yarn. You can do it two ways. You can leave your stitches on the loom, but you can also take them off. First the one above and then the one below, or the other way around. It's just what you like. And you are going to take the stitches off the loom. It's best to use a needle with a blunt point so you know exactly that you're not in the stitch but in the middle of the stitch. And just take them off exactly the same way everywhere, so you won't see it. Okay, now we take this one off the anchor peg. Loom is not necessary anymore. Okay, this is the working yarn. Grab your crochet hook. I think it's good to have a crochet hook that's needed for this kind of material. Do you want an extra stretchy cast off, then you can better use a bigger one. But you will notice after doing this a few times which one you will need. So just look at the working yarn, what direction it is going. You take two and you just pull your working yarn through. You just take one, wrap around the crochet hook, and you pull it through those two. I'm holding it with my pointing finger, and when you want to have it more stretchy, you can make a bigger loop over here. But if this is enough, it's okay. And just continue, look at the piece of scrap yarn, which direction it is going. You can also do this, of course, one by one, if that is easier. But I'm certain after doing this a few times, you will do it just like me. I will continue, otherwise the video will get very long. Just look at your working yarn, or at the scrap yarn. Okay, last stitch. Now, we have all these stitches done. Put your piece of scrap yarn out of it. You cut off your yarn as long as you need it to have. And just look, this can happen. So, pull your needle through that stitch on the side and just make a loop, and you pull your working yarn through. Okay, this was the front side, and as you saw me doing, the working yarn was behind, so that make the rib of the purl. And this is the front, so you wanted to have it the same way. In this case, the beginning we can't use, the weave-in ends, so we are going to make a new one. And this is the one you can loosen. Okay, just grab your working yarn, you make a loop, you take the stitch next to it and you pull them through both, and you are just going to do exactly the same as you did with your cast off. So it's just a little practicing. In the beginning it looks like, oh gee, but when you do this more, just do it by swatching or something like that, that you get used to it. And just look, every stitch that you encounter, you do with your crochet hook. It's just like making a single crochet. Okay, this is the last one. As you can see, there's still one here. I will take that one too, and I will, this is my last stitch, put out the scrap yarn, and as you can see, the ribs are on one side and the chain is also on one side. Okay, this one, I'll cut them off both now. I put this one through, and as you can see, that was the tail of the bit which was put on the anchor peg. We just make a little knot, a reef knot or a square knot, so the one below stays below. Okay, and that's the beauty of a double knit. You can weave in ends quite easily. This is the one we adjusted. Put it on your needle, and you're just going to take a closer look at how the stitches are going. You just make a knot over here, and you weave it in between the stitches. I always say, when you don't see the needle, you don't see the yarn. And that's what you do with these two. This one in another row. Look. And just pull a little bit and cut it off almost next to your stitches. Don't cut in your stitches. And this one too. Okay, now this is a more stretchy way of doing an anchor yarn cast on and cast off. That is almost exactly the same. So your scarf or whatever project you want to make looks more beautiful. Okay, hope you enjoyed watching, and hope to see you in another video with stitches, casting off, casting ons, or any other project. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.